Welcome to Dolphins. What are they thinking? Have you all seen a dolphin? Aren't they fun? Who loves dolphins? There we go, all right. Do you think they're really that happy? Or are those smiles faked sometimes? Fake, okay. The hot topic now is whether dolphins are really smart. Do you think dolphins are really smart? Yeah. A lot of people want to believe that. Proving it is another story. Still, when we look at certain dolphin behaviors, there just got to be great stuff going on in there. For instance, in a few aquariums around the world, some dolphins create these incredible bubble ring vortexes, and they spend hours manipulating them. It's almost like they're trying to help us with our understanding of physics. Thank you, we need help. If only we could ask the dolphins what they know and just let them tell us. We tried. Dolphins are great at vocalizing. We're not so good at understanding. They make sound by pushing air back and forth between the two sacs under their blowholes. The sound that comes out is very similar to what we get when we stretch the neck of a balloon and let the air screech out. A lot of it is above our hearing register. The rest just sounds strange. So we've only been able to nail down for certain two of the sounds that dolphins make. One I was lucky enough to hear when I sat in on a study session at the Dolphin Research Center in Florida. This dolphin, Tanner, and I were waiting for the specialist to get her materials together. And I heard what sounded like my dog's whisper whine. She makes it when she really wants to go for a walk, and she knows she's not supposed to pester. In Florida, I had a hard time tracking the sound. I couldn't tell if it was Tanner, another dolphin, a bird, a machine. So I asked the specialist, and she said Tanner was making that noise. And we know that, he made it because he was so excited to play with us. We know that for certain because blood samples taken from dolphins making that noise are full of dopamine, the happy hormone. And that spiked my dopamine level because Tanner was excited to play with me. The other sound we've been able to identify for certain, we should be hearing that, there it is the signature whistle. Baby calves make up their own completely unique signature whistle to use as a name. So instead of there being 5 Michaels in a pod, there is only one in the entire universe. They use these names a little differently than we do. So instead of my coming in and saying, "Hi, Pat," "Hey, Emily," the dolphin me will say, "It's Anne's here, here's Anne." And after I thought about it, that made a lot of sense. Imagine you are a dolphin out there in the middle of the ocean, and you see a dolphin or 5 coming barreling at you full speed. How soon do you want to know whether those dolphins are your friends or a bunch of bullies? Now, right? A few years ago, a pregnant dolphin was seen swimming alone, whistling her whistle. And that didn't make sense to the observers because dolphins use their whistle to identify themselves to other dolphins. Why would she be whistling all by herself? And then they realized she wasn't alone. And the dolphin with her desperately needed to know what her whistle sounded like because it would be his lifeline to food and protection when they were separated. Mommy's signature whistle seems to be a difficult thing for calves to learn. So if this dolphin was trying to give her baby a head start by whistling her whistle, doesn't that sound like pretty sophisticated thinking? We've done much better in interpreting signals. When a dolphin blows a big bubble like that, that means, I am not happy. I don't think this guy wanted his picture taken with those two bozos. When a dolphin slaps its tail on the surface, that means, hey, it's called lobtailing. When two dolphins go head to head, mouths wide open, maybe jaws clacking, that means, see these teeth? They are gonna, come on, here we go, rake you up one side and down the other. Yes. When mama pats her calf, that means, shh, 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 sharks will get you. When she nods her head, that means, don't make me hold you to the bottom again. Another thing that makes researchers think that dolphins are intelligent is that they seem to teach, not just be quiet, but life skills. And the passing of these non-instinctual skills through the generations is taken as proof by some researchers that dolphins have culture. And if that is so, then a pod of dolphins off the coast of Brazil has had a culture of fishing cooperatively with men for 120 years. The men stand out in the water, holding their nets, waiting for a signal from the dolphins. They may stand there for hours. When they finally get their signal, they throw their nets. The dolphins work together to push the fish into the nets. Some of those fish backtrack into the jaws of the dolphins, and that's how the dolphins get their cut. A number of people have watched this procedure over the years, and some have noticed that the adults seem to urge the young to get involved in this herding effort. And that's when we see the skills, the culture, being passed to the next generation. Dolphins also teach sex. They are big on sex. And if they have any inhibitions, they're very different from ours. An adult male was seen apparently mentoring a young calf in the art of love. This calf buzzed the calf's, the adult buzzed the calf's mother and then followed up with her. Dolphins buzz by putting their sonar clicks on warp speed. And people who have been buzzed in the water say, it's buzzy. So it's very likely that this is foreplay. On the other hand, it is sonar, so it may be that these males are checking to see if their intended already has a bun in the oven. In any case, after this male apparently demonstrated on the mother, he buzzed and followed up with the calf. And then he watched as the calf buzzed and followed up with his own mommy. Warms the heart, doesn't it? Crazy as that story is, it's the next one that really blew my mind. A bunch of calves were seen play fighting under the surface. And in among them was an adult male going from group to group, giving pats and interacting with the calves. And every so often, this adult male would go off to one side to an elder male and interact with him and receive pats. So that kind of sounds like Little League, doesn't it? Assistant coach, head coach, sluggers. But then one of the mothers came along and acted like she wanted to take her little guy out, and the adult males blocked her. So that's not Little League. That's more like mandatory militia drills. Well, dolphins need to be able to protect themselves and their pods from sharks and bullies. So it does seem like a pretty wise move, doesn't it, to get those youngsters some training and practice? Females also have an opportunity to learn the skills they need. When a young female is in a family way for the first time, she leaves her childhood friends and goes and hangs out in the nursery pod with other mothers and calves. Some of those expectant mothers are pass the time by babysitting for those other mothers. And those that do learn the ropes so well that they are twice as likely to keep their calf safe through its vulnerable first year. They also get help from the other mothers in making sure that newborn gets to the surface for his first breath. Clearly, there's a lot of important cooperation, life-saving cooperation going on in these pods, and it seems logical that that would require some social skills. Dolphins start working their social skills from day one. Baby calves love to play, and they often form strong bonds that last a lifetime and beyond. A pair of very social female friends was observed to have daughters who were BFFs and granddaughters who were besties. And that's just the part of the chain we've been able to observe. There's no telling how long it's been going on and will go on. A researcher suggests that dolphins might have some kind of bonding superpower. She came up with this idea when she noticed a dolphin that generally had no interest whatever in people suddenly go rapt over a conversation on fixing boat motors. The researcher was pretty sure that dolphin wasn't into boat motors either, but she wondered if that dolphin was picking up on a heavy undercurrent of ego vibes around that troubleshoot. If dolphins can read emotions that way, that would be something of a superpower, wouldn't it? Imagine how much more smoothly our relationships would go if we could read the true feelings of the people around us. The old grump who's hurting bad, the nose in the air type who's covering shyness, the insulting, obnoxious creep who really wants to be friends. Wouldn't it be crazy if in the end dolphins helped us figure out what people are thinking? Thank you all so much for coming.